It has failed before. By the close of the 19th century, the covenant was breaking along lines the founders would have recognized as futile. Railroads, steel, and oil had produced concentrations of private power that rivaled the state itself. A man who worked 12 hours in a Pittsburgh mill owned nothing he could not carry and voted, if he voted at all, in the shadow of the company that owned the town, the store, and the house he rented. The Gilded Age was not a failure of markets. It was a demonstration of what markets produce when the covenant of stakes is left unattended, an aristocracy of capital as rigid and as self-perpetuating as the aristocracy of blood the revolution was fought to escape. And then the Republic did something Rome could not. It renegotiated. Not cleanly, not quickly, not without violence and grave error, but structurally, antitrust, the income tax, collective bargaining, the homestead programs, and eventually a post-war settlement that distributed the rewards of American productivity widely enough to rebuild the covenant for a generation. The correction was imperfect. It excluded millions by race and sex. But it demonstrated the principle. The covenant of stakes is not self-sustaining, and when it breaks, it must be rebuilt by political will, or the Republic will follow Rome. It is breaking again. The top 1% of American households now hold nearly a third of the nation's wealth. The bottom half hold 2.5%. 3 out of 4 households cannot afford a median-priced home. The median house costs 5 times the median annual income, and the mortgage payment consumes nearly a third of what the average family earns, up from a fifth just 6 years ago. An entire generation is entering adulthood with student debt where their parents had equity, with rent receipts where their grandparents had deeds. 9 in 10 Americans say they are living through a cost of living crisis. More than half struggle to pay their bills on time each month. These are not complaints. They are structural data. They describe a republic in which the covenant of stakes is dissolving for the majority of its citizens, exactly as it dissolved in Rome when the latifundia swallowed the smallholdings, exactly as it dissolved in the Gilded Age when the trusts swallowed the trades. The machinery of self-governance remains in place. The elections are held, the courts are open, the Constitution endures. But the gravitational force that kept the machinery in orbit is weakening, and Tocqueville told us what comes next.